Chapter 19. Go Your Own Way. The crowd in the Adler Hotel's grand lobby fell silent as Edward stepped forward, the air thick with anticipation. His voice, steady yet laden with urgency, cut through the tension.
The Misfit scouts outside signal an imminent attack. These aren't mere observers, they're precursors to the Horde, marking rows to be taken or turned. We've likely got 2 days before they strike.
His words landed with a heavy finality, sparking a ripple of anxious murmurs amongst us.
Fight or flee,
Edward stated, simply encapsulating the grim choice before us. The lobby, once a place of refuge and laughter, now mirrored our collective dread. The thought of leaving the Adler felt like abandoning a part of ourselves, yet standing against the misfit horde seemed akin to courting disaster.
I wish it were different, but facing them directly, I fear it's a battle we cannot win,
Edward concluded, his gaze somber. In ensuing silence, our options weighed heavily on us. Jasper voiced a sentiment that lingered in the back of our minds. Leaving might be our only chance. The Adler, for all its sanctuary, cannot shield us from what's coming. Marianne's counter was impassioned, reflecting her deep connection to the hotel. But this place is modern walls and windows. To leave without a fight, does it not feel like betrayal? Her words struck a chord, highlighting the dilemma of defending a haven that offered us solace against the encroaching darkness. It was Sophie's quiet resolve that tipped the scales. The risk of staying, it's too great. I can't bear the thought of losing any of you, she said, her eyes meeting mine. Will you come with me? The decision, once fraught with hesitation, became clear in her plea. I glanced at Terry, whose nod offered silent support. Yes, Sophie, we'll leave together, I affirmed, my voice steady despite the turmoil within. Our choice made, the group's collective energy shifted towards departure. Approaching the Major to convey our decision, I braced for a rebuke that never came. Instead, his response was understanding, almost prescient.
A tactical retreat, then. Remember, the battle against the darkness isn't bound to one place. We carry the fight within us wherever we go.
His words, offering a sliver of hope amid uncertainty, underscored the decision's weight. Edward, alongside the Major, promised to make a stand, ensuring our departure wasn't in vain. As we prepared to step into the unknown, a final glance back at the Adler Hotel etched its memory in my heart. The promise to return, to reclaim this beacon of light, remained unspoken but understood among us. The escape from the Adler Hotel unfolded under the veil of an uncertain dawn. Our group threading through the ornate gardens that had once been a source of tranquility and reflection. The meticulously maintained paths seemed to whisper caution with every step we took, guiding us away from the sanctuary that had been our home. As we navigated the labyrinth of hedges and statues, a collective tension hung in the air, each of us keenly aware of the dangers that lurked just beyond the hotel's protective embrace. The gardens, a masterpiece of landscape and architecture, now served as our route to freedom, their beauty a stark contrast to the urgency of our flight. At one point, the silhouette of misfits gathered at the edge of the property sent us into a frozen pause. The realization that we were perilously close to being discovered casting a shadow over our resolve. In this moment of suspended action, Marianne paused, torn. I can't leave it behind. Not when it stood for us when nothing else would, she whispered fiercely to me. Her resolve crystallized in a moment of silent defiance before she vanished back towards what she couldn't abandon. Her departure, though a blow, sharpened our focus. We had to move, and swiftly. Seizing an opportunity as the misfits' attention shifted momentarily, Terry gestured towards the tree line with a whispered urgency. Now, let's go. We hustled across the open space, the cold air biting at our faces as we dove into the relative safety of the trees. Jasper, the longest resident among us, shared his knowledge of the terrain. The road's not far, about a football field's distance away. Once we hit that, it's a straight shot to the nearest town. His words, measured and calm, offered a beacon of hope as we navigated through the dense foliage, making progress towards an uncertain future. Just as the road came into view, a chilling scream shattered the morning silence. A misfit, lone and frenzied, had spotted us and charged with wild, unseeing determination. In that moment, something within me shifted. A protective instinct, born not of fear, but of the deep bonds formed in the crucible of our shared ordeal. With Terry by my side, we stood our ground, the fight a blur of motion and desperation. Together we managed to fend off the attacker, leaving him disoriented and collapsed in the snow. A sad reminder of the fate we sought to escape. Without looking back, we scrambled over the low wall that marked the boundary of the Adler's grounds, the road under our feet a tangible symbol of our departure. As we put distance between ourselves and the hotel, the weight of what we were leaving behind settled over me like a shroud. The Adler, with its echoing halls and whispered secrets, had been a haven in a world that no longer had a place for us. Now, it remained a beacon of hope, a memory to carry forward as we ventured into the unknown. The promise of return, a silent vow that bound us together. Jasper led the way, his familiarity with the area a guiding light as we navigated the path to safety. The town, once a mere footnote in our existence at the Adler, now loomed as our next destination, a place to regroup and plan our next move. The dawn, breaking over the horizon, painted the sky with hues of hope and renewal, a reminder that even in our darkest moments, the light of a new beginning was never far away.